can't believe I'm saying this, but tipping culture is out of control and we need to do something about it. I was at a bar the other night and the door guy asked me for a tip on my cover charge. Like the $10 you pay to get into the bar, I put it on my debit card and then he slides me the iPad and is like, tips are appreciated. And it was auto set to 20, 22, and 25% tip on a cover charge. And like, listen, I get this guy makes no money, right? So if I were him, I'd probably be asking for tips too. But as a consumer, I cannot afford a 20% surcharge on every single aspect of my experience when I leave my house. Like if I'm expected to individually tip every single employee at a bar or restaurant, then I just can't go there. And if enough people start feeling that way, and I kind of, whenever I complain about this, people agree, so I think we're getting there. It's like, that's how local economies tank, actually. That's how bars and restaurants go under, because like I just can't afford. And the other thing too, and I say this as a former bartender, former server, former Uber Lyft driver, and former Uber Eats driver, so like I understand the importance of tip. Gen Z won't remember this, but like this idea that everyone deserves 20% for everything is very new, actually. When I was growing up, servers got 20% because they make $2 an hour. Everyone else, $1 a drink, basically. Baristas, $1 a drink. Bartenders, $1 a drink. And when I bartended, I would get $1 a drink and still make more tips than most of the servers. Like taxi drivers, $5, but it wasn't 20% of the fare. Hairdressers, $10, something. You know what I mean? But it's like now it's just 20%. It's crazy. And I know that no one's making money, so I don't want to like not tip, but at the same time, like I don't know. I can't afford any of this and I don't know what we do.
Where are we drawing the line where it comes to tipping? Because I swear tipping has gotten so out of control that everyone and everything wants a tip now. So my husband and I eat out once a week, right? And last week he was like, we should go to the buffet. And first of all, I have not been to a buffet in years. So I was like, okay, fine, let's go. We pull up, we walk in. And I don't know if all buffets are the same in the sense that you pay as soon as you walk in, right? So we paid, and sure enough, she turns the screen around and says, it's just gonna ask you a few questions. And it asked for a tip, and I was like, I literally spit water out of my mouth. I was like, what are we tipping for? We're standing here for you to charge us. We're gonna get this receipt, go find ourselves a table, and then put the receipt there so we know where to sit. And then we're gonna take our little selves to the food section, pick up a plate, serve ourselves food, get forks, get spoons, get little napkins, walk our little butt again to our table. What are we paying for? I'm so confused. I swear, dude, everywhere you go, a tip will be expected. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about generosity, but when it's forced generosity and literally everyone everywhere expects a tip, where are we drawing the line here?
Okay, can someone please explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old why all of a sudden, everywhere I go and everything I purchase, someone is requesting a tip? I don't care. Just punch a couple buttons on the cash register, just swipe, tap, whatever. Literally doing nothing extra to help anyone and expecting a tip. That just blows my mind. And it's super frustrating because no, I just want to pay for it. I just want to pay for what I got. Yeah, you didn't really help me. So not sure why you're expecting a tip. Anybody else super frustrated with that? I don't know. It could just be me. I just could be in one of those moods this week. I don't know.
We're all aware that the American tipping culture is ridiculous, but it's even more ridiculous when you go to another country that doesn't require you to tip ever, and you see how incredible those people are living because they're actually paid livable wages, where it doesn't demand other people to make up for the fact that companies don't want to pay people. Here in Australia, you literally do not tip. Like, I get my nails done, don't tip. You go to a coffee shop, don't tip. You get served at a restaurant, you don't tip. Do you know why? Because the people make enough money that it's actually kind of disrespectful if you tip them. I mean, like, let's be honest. If you get your hair done and you get your nails done and you really, really, really love it, sure, you can tip. But in America, it's like if you don't tip, you're completely in the wrong, you're a terrible person. And it's really just such a disgusting culture that we've created where we are forcing ourselves to make up for companies that are just disrespectful and don't care about people. And people always wonder, why don't they want everybody to have a passport? Why don't they want everybody to travel out of the country? Because if you did travel out of the country, you would realize that the American culture is a joke, it's a scam, and they literally are just forcing us to continuously make up for the fact that they don't care about us. Here in Australia, there will be a barista and they're making a livable wage and they get to go home at like 2 p.m. In America, if that's your job, you go home and then you go to your next job because you cannot afford to live. And that's sad. In America, they expect you to tip when you literally do everything yourself except get served, which is literally the person's job to serve you. Like if I go to a cafe and I get a cup of coffee, is that not their job to make me the cup of coffee, right? So then why do I have to tip them further? But in America, we normalize that because it's like, oh, but they can't live otherwise. But how is that my fault? Genuinely, we need to start holding our government accountable and wondering why it is that so many other countries can have universal health care, free community college, not require people to tip because they're making livable paychecks, and yet America's just like, nope, we're not responsible for any of that. They'll take billions of our tax dollars and do nothing with them besides go over and invade other countries. And we genuinely think that's okay.
The tipping culture is getting out of control. I'm leaving the shoe store because I'm getting my sister some shoes for her birthday. And there's the kiosk table thing that these people are standing at because they're shining the shoes and they're selling that product. I'm sure everyone has seen it in their malls. And he's like, you just bought some new shoes, like you want to buy this, da 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 da. I was like, no, these shoes aren't for me, like I'm okay. And he's like, well, whoever you bought them for, like you can throw that in with the gift. I was like, they're from my sister, and I promise you she's not going to use your product to be cleaning her shoes. Like she's not doing that because I don't want your product. Then he's like trying to coerce me into like purchasing this product. I was like, no, it's Mother's Day, I got 2 birthdays, like my pockets, they're ran through. No. Then he asked me, can you leave me a tip? And I'm like, a tip for what? Like, what do you mean you want a tip? He was like, the commission, if you want to help me out, tip me for this commission. Like, it's going on and on about this tip and this commission. I was like, I have no more money to give. I'm sorry. And like, have a good day. Like, goodbye. What am I tipping you for? For bothering me? For pestering me? For trying to coerce me into buy your products? Like, I'm confused. A tip for not buying something is actually insane.
I just did something I've never actually done, but for the first time ever, I tipped based on service quality versus just following the standard crazy tipping rules. I just got my nails done, which I've been really cutting back on doing that because it's so expensive now. I tried doing it myself, but it did not come out very well. Also, like the quality of product I got just wasn't very good. It chipped after like a day. So I went and got my nails done. The whole time she was trying to like rush me through the process. So as I'm sticking my hands in the like cure, the light cure, it's only getting to like 20 seconds and she wants me to pull my hands out so she can paint the next round. Mind you, there's no customers behind me. There is not a line. There's nobody waiting to go next. Like maybe if they were busy, but that's not what's happening here. It's lunchtime on a Monday. So I said to her, no, I'm gonna leave my hands in and let them dry. She said, no, they're fine. I said, no, I'm gonna let them dry all the way so that they don't bubble and chip like they do when you don't let them dry and cure all the way. I'm paying for it. I'm gonna stick my hand under here for 60 seconds every time. I'm paying for this. This is supposed to last me. There's a 60-second button for a reason, and it's because that's how long it genuinely needs to cure, okay? Every time I go and I like sit there for only 20-30 seconds under the light, they bubble, they chip 10 times faster than when it actually is allowed to cure as long as it's supposed to. So the total for my nails and my toes was $93 and I gave her $5. She was really rude about me wanting to keep my hands under the light for the right amount of time. She was really rude about me wanting 2 colors even though it's the same amount of product. And she got to charge me $5 more for it. She was rude about having to do it. Like, I'm over it. Tipping culture has gotten nuts. If you're not going to do the quality of work, I'm not giving you 20% just because that's what the world has deemed that you should get just because. I'm going back to tipping on quality. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's not cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting canceled for this. I don't know. But that's not cool. We're all trying our best, and my dollar is just as good as your dollar, and so I want the quality of work that I'm paying for with my dollar.
My rule is if I stand up to order my food and I have to get it, there's probably not a very big tip in it for you. If you bring me my food, you take my order, absolutely going to give you a tip. If I'm driving through, there's no tip. You're doing your job. I came here to order a thing from you. You came here to sell a thing to me. That's great. That's the whole transaction. There is no extra transaction required. If somebody's doing service for you, you get a haircut, come clean your house, that's all fine. Tip all those people. Tip your service providers where that's the norm. But the idea that I go buy a product and you hand me the product from the shelf across the counter and then I'm supposed to give you a tip, that's insane to me. I have the same opinion everybody else has on tip culture. It's out of control.
Reaction time. This edition is grad night.
Do servers ever get tired of complaining about the tips that they get? You know you're not entitled to any of the tips. Like, your tip out could be 0. Tipping is customary, it's not required. 20 to 25% plus in a tip means you are doing outstanding job. It does not mean that you're simply taking the customer's order, dropping off their food, and giving them their check. If that's all you're doing for your customers, no, you don't deserve a 20 to 25% plus tip. Sorry. Honestly, I blame COVID because remember during COVID, we were expecting very little from our servers, but we were tipping out of really just pity, really high amounts. I feel like this is where the entitlement of tips really came from. And I really think that servers should just be thankful that they get a 5% tip or a 10% tip or a 15% tip. Like, that means that the customer said, hey, here's the amount on my bill. I feel like I want to give you additional money to say thank you. Customers' thank yous are met with servers just showing the receipt and complaining that they didn't get exactly 20%. Like, this was a $10 on a $100 bill. And she rates this like a 4 out of 10.
I'm not sure what the fuck just happened, but I went into a sandwich shop and I went up to the window, ordered the sandwich I wanted, which was a pre-built menu. It wasn't like I went down the line and you built the sandwich for me in front of me. I ordered and I got a drink and I went to pay for it, which I picked up at a different window. And I went to go pay and I pressed no on a tip and the transaction went through and she said, you didn't tip me. I said, I know. I know. And I was very kind, very polite. Right? She said, well, why not? And I said, well, I ordered a sandwich and I'm getting it to go. There was, I didn't feel like there was a tip needed. She goes, well, everybody tips us. And she goes, we're making your sandwich for you. And I said, isn't that what your hourly wage is for? And I guess I was dumbfounded just a little bit. And I still feel like I'm in shock and speechless just a little bit. But I am all for tips where it's deserved. Bartenders, servers, waitresses, your hairstylist sometimes, and however that works and you're part of if it's built or you go to whatever. I am all for leaving a tip when it's a service job that you have given me a service for and an appropriate tip. But all I did was walk to the window, order, and take it with me. Why should I have been felt guilty to not have left a tip on an $8 sandwich that was on your menu? I don't know. I got to get over that one before I drive away.
Welcome aboard, Veronica. Have you actually ever worked in this industry before?
No, so this is actually my first waitressing job. I've never had I've never worked in this type of industry before, but I have heard that waitresses and waiters have the potential to make some really good money. So
yeah, definitely, for sure.
What is the starting rate, by the way?
You'll currently start at $2.13.
I'm sorry, you said $2.13 an hour?
Yes, exactly. That's correct.
I feel like that is the opposite of financial freedom.
Oh, that's so funny. So you do get tips as well on top of that.
Oh, okay. So you guys pay tips on top of that. Okay. And are the tips guaranteed?
Oh God, no. No, tips are never guaranteed, but they're basically an expectation.
I'm so sorry. Again, I've never worked in this industry, so I need to understand. So you're paying me $2 and some change per hour, and then the patrons, like the customers, are tipping, and that's not guaranteed. So it's not guaranteed that I'll make any real money.
Well, we live in a society of tipping culture, so you will get tips.
What is the tipping based on?
That answer depends on who you speak with, but it could be your service, the prices on the menu, people's mood that day.
Okay. how do we know that people are going to tip? Like, are they told that they have to tip? Like, what does that process look like?
It's kind of just implied. Like people just kind of know they are supposed to tip, you know?
Okay, so tipping is a suggestion, not not a requirement. It's
Yeah, we even give them the suggested tip amounts on the receipt, so it'll kind of prompt
okay.
them.
So I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions. I'm just trying to understand. Um, okay. So you're paying me $2.13 per hour, and then we are relying on the generosity of strangers to make up the difference.
Exactly, exactly.
How do we know that they're going to tip?
Oh, we chastise them. We'll have an attitude, or there's plenty of people who will tell them to stay home if they can't tip. So society takes care of that for us. They essentially do our dirty work. They try to guilt people.
Okay. I have to think about this. Thank you so much for my interview. Thank you for offering me the job. I don't know that I feel comfortable because the only thing guaranteed is my $2.13. And then whatever tip I get could be $10 a day, could be $100 a day or more, but it's not guaranteed. The only thing that I'm guaranteed to do is come home with $2.13 times however many hours I work. Tips are
Oh, and you do have to pay out some tips to the other staff members as well.
oh, and I also have to share my tips
Yes.
with okay. Okay. All right. I don't think this is for me. I love the people that can make this work. I can't live with such uncertainty, but thank you so much for this opportunity.